Sonic here. In this video you're going to learn the 4 key concepts of a signature. The first main concept is a focal point, or focus, of the signature. Shown in the sig I just recently made, the red shows the focal point. This red circle, in the focal point you should usually have text, which I've written on the sword, and the main point, or the focus, of your render. You don't want your render outside of where the viewer is supposed to be looking, or it becomes too distracting. Second, you want a nice light source. Light sources are easy and add a lot to the signature. It's showed in the yellow here. You usually want to look at your render and try to imagine where this light would be coming from if it were real. In this render, the light's coming off of her face to the left side. So I would think the light source would just be to the left and up. So to create your light source, you create a new layer, and you get your paintbrush tool and find one of those fuzzy paintbrushes. 65, 100 pixels, depends on the size of your signature. I'll be using 65. Now select a color. It could be white, or it could have a small tone for your signature. I'm just going to use white. And all you got to do is minimize the flow. Use about 10 or 15% flow. And just brush in it a bit. And you'll see the lighting take an effect. I've already done it in my signature. You can see the lighter area over here compared to the rest of the signature. And it's reflecting off of her face. Next is flow, shown with these black lines. Flow is pretty important because when you have too many lines and effects all facing different directions, the viewer doesn't know where to look and it becomes too cluttered looking. So you want to pick 1, 2, or even 3 directions where the render seems to be facing. Right here we got flow facing with the sword and with the direction of her body. So in the background you can see I placed the effects and the renders and brushes in these 2 directions. Try to do that when you're making a signature. Make a flow. And last is the border, shown on the screen. You don't want a huge border, and they're easy to create and add a lot to the signature. All you have to do is create a new layer. Select the marquee tool, the dotted box, select your entire signature, go edit, stroke, and you want to select a 1 or 2 pixel width border, but make sure the location is set at center. Color, you can either have black, white, or any really color you want. I kind of want a white border on this. Click OK, and you have your border. If you want to soften the border up, you can always go right click, blending options, reduce the opacity, or even go filter, blur, blur, blur more, Gaussian blur, depending on how soft you want the border to look. And that's it. The key concepts of a signature. You want to make sure your sig has these concepts before presenting it.